Good morning. It is 7:20 a.m. I am on the Bay Bridge going into the city to work. And I had kind of an epiphany in thinking of case management and social work and how I think on one hand these roles are extremely underutilized and how impactful they can be in the community, and also how they translate very well into other industries, thus other roles. So I listen to real estate in the morning, or I read about it when I watch the markets in the morning. And even though I'm into social work, our roles are deeply influenced by the economy and the market. It is the driving force of where we're going to be at in the next 10 years, our labor market, who is going to be aging, and what those trends are going to be. So when you're looking at those trends, it helps you look at your job, and it helps you look at like how underpaid we are. You can participate in the markets and have a little bit of a extra income from your dividends if you choose to. So, as I said 5 million times of whatever times I've said it, when you work in affordable housing, you work in the real estate industry. You might work on the side of the social services projects or programs to help stabilize individuals to stay in that housing who come from non-traditional backgrounds, which is homelessness or coming through the foster care or disability, mental, physical. Those are the person's attributes of their environment or of their genes. But when we mean like where I work, what do I do? You really work in the real estate industry. So it brings thought to me of, one, the trends of more traditional real estate developers are going to be moving into multifamily housing development. And these are some reasons why. One, we are having a shortage of land. The reason developers are not developing is because of the shortage of land. People are dying. It sounds very cruel, but we have people who are aging. They are dying. Since they are dying, and more than likely, there was no will in place for whatever grandpa purchased in 1935. That land is going to go up for sale. A developer is going to buy that for pennies. So when we begin to look at this, it begins to give you a framework of how to look for a new job, how to look for industry where your skills are not necessarily seen as valuable yet. And then how can you market them? Because I do believe that we're shifting, like social services, our healthcare system is a very archaic system that is going to be disrupted now. It's about to be disrupted. It's too many people who are aging. We have seen the impact of COVID and how we have a pretty shitty ass health system that fails under pressure. So those innovative mindsets are going to step in now, look at these cracks, and they're going to influence policy, or they're going to influence a business model to change it, to keep up with the times, and also to participate at a global scale. That's one of the ways to look at it. Another second role to look at is clinical trials. With the FDA now approving the COVID vaccine, we have been under COVID we've been under COVID for a while. It's part of the SARS genome or whatever, if you're into that. It's part of SARS. Nothing is new under the sun. It's existed. But the impact of it, or whatever, if they made it in a lab, or if it made it with another super virus, I'm not sure. Within a matter of 18 months, that vaccine has been approved now. So the clinical trials, I want you all to be very clear, we were the clinical trial. The population was mass clinical trial. Clinical trials were sold at the beginning of COVID for people to participate. Those small CROs, which are clinical research organizations, were already hospitals. They were either getting to do trials on people who were sick already, those who were symptomatic, or those who died from their tissue. So don't get it twisted. It has been studied. It's continuously being studied with us, those of us who have been vaccinated within the community, to see how it's going to move now. So don't think that it has not been tested. It was tested at the beginning. And it could be a lot of things. It could be Chinese warfare. It could be many layers to it. We don't know. But I want to say is that it has already existed in our world. And so now we have to bring it to, how do we get people to enroll in clinical trials now that it has been essentially forced on people? It's being forced. It's impacting your money. It's impacting your ability to advance in life. So you don't have an option. So now what is that saying to us in social services, how things are going to change? What impacts of this law that just passed are going to impact people's independent choices in terms of their medical care, in terms of where they get educated, in terms of where they are able to live. And I don't want to sound like I'm a Marxist, but we are definitely moving into a realm of socialism. And I'm not right-wing. I'm not politicking. I'm speaking pure facts right now, because the policy is showing us something differently. So what does that mean as us who work in social services, how we are going to arrive to the moment? Are we going to be advocates? Right? So if you're an advocate and you want to change policy, that means more social workers are going to start being with lawyers, going to start being with law firms and policy forums, having feet on the ground, how to influence what we would call transient populations to participate in society through clinical trials, through programming, through housing. So then it's going to be, right now, people are going to have to be vaccinated to live in Section 8 housing because it's federal housing. And Section 8 housing is created for those who are either disabled psychologically, physically, who have health impairments. Now they're going to have to be vaccinated to have a roof over their head. How are we as social workers and case managers going to advocate for that? And these are the things we have to start asking ourselves when we are moving in our careers. If you're new, if you're looking for a route to take, is how do I establish myself in the midst of a paradigm shift? Because we are under a paradigm shift. So I just wanted to drop a jewel on that, to start thinking creatively in terms of those of you who are moving into your role, those of you who are expanding, who are getting promoted because there's so many job openings in the industry. And how are you going to change? How are you not going to get caught up in the minutia of case management, being in survival mode, of putting out fires for clients who are going to live their life the way they've been living it for 10 or 20 plus years? But how are you going to show the systematic oppression in the system that is making choices for our most vulnerable populations? So leave some comments below. Let me know how you feel about this. Let me know how you are viewing the changes that are happening. And let's begin to build a conversation around this. Have a good one. Bye.